very humid out today. Be a little bit of a different live, at least this first part. Probably cut the live. I'm going to pause, we'll end the live whenever we get where we're going. Just because of the nature of what we're getting, what we're doing. But I did want to have a conversation with you guys about bottles, more specifically rare allocated bottles. More specific than that, rare allocated bottles that you can't really get or find on your own. So, if you guys haven't figured it out, it is definitely a relationship game. If you don't have a relationship with some of these stores, whether it's management, ownership, connections with reps, having a community that helps you find when the drops are going to happen, where you can get an allocated bottle, you're at a disadvantage. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Life on the Patio. So, if you're already at a disadvantage trying to find those allocated bottles, what can you guys do to help hedge that so you can find it? What's going on, Jeff? Lock Talk. What's going on, Patrick? So, if you can't find those allocated bottles in the store, you don't have the right relationships with the right stores, and I say the right stores because some of these stores, they don't have access to the bottle you might be looking for. How do you guys go about finding them? So, for me, and it's been me for quite some time recently, just because I haven't been wanting to dedicate the time and the money to hunt, I've had to go to secondary market. Should the secondary market exist? Does it need to exist? Does it have its place? Is the secondary market out of control? All questions you're going to have to ask yourself on what bottle you think is worth it. I do recommend sitting back and thinking long and hard about that list of bottles you want to get, about value, what the MSRP is, what it trades or goes for on secondary, and what you're willing to pay for it. I mean, don't let your fear of missing out scalp your ability to have good judgment to pass on a bottle because the price is too high. Send me samples because this community is amazing. We will be sending you some more samples, I promise, Locktar, especially when we go pick up these Rebecca Creek 16 years this morning. I just spend $10K every week at the store and get my stuff that way. And that's kind of what we were talking about for relationships. The fact that you have access through a business to spend that kind of money at a store, to support a business, and build a relationship with that liquor store, you're going to have access to more bottles than anybody else that goes to that store. Nothing wrong with that either. In fact, I encourage that. But if you don't have access to that, or you're just a small guy, $10,000 a week might not be super for you. So if you don't have the relationship with the stores, or the store just doesn't have the allotments because they're not selling enough of the BS products to get the allocations. I mean, there's lots of factors that play into it. And then we were talking about it last night on Discord. The distribution to some of these locations is terrible. So if the bottles aren't getting distributed, you can't even get some of the stuff you want. So that's another factor you got to think about. So secondary market, there's several different groups that do this. You'll find them on Discord and Facebook. If you search for them, you won't find them. You need to find people locally that are bourbon enthusiasts or bourbon hunters or even flippers. Find those guys. Talk to them. Here's another thing with a relationship plays into. You gotta talk to the flippers, even if you don't like it. So they can invite you to these groups so you can see what bottles go for in your area, if you have access to get some of these bottles that you've been looking for. And it's one of those things where you're not gonna be able to really ask some questions on how they got those bottles. Just know that they're there and they're available for the right price. Hey, the bourbon Jamaican, what's going on, brother? So if you can't get the bottle that you want, secondary might be the only way to get it. Then you got to decide, well, what am I willing to pay? Just because the secondary bottle, or the bottle on secondary is, let's say, $300, is it a $300 bottle? More than likely not. It's probably not worth $300 just because that's what it goes for on secondary. That doesn't mean too much. What I will say when it comes to value, the cost of the bottle versus MSRP, there's good examples and bad examples, and I'll give both. The first one we'll give is the bad example. The principle, the topic of choice here is the price. So if the price, the MSRP and the secondary price is 4 to 7, 8, 10 times higher. If it's more than triple the MSRP, we'll say if it's more than triple, does that equate to a good bottle? Well, a bad example of this where I would say absolutely not, and there's no way in hell I'd ever pay that price for secondary, would be Weller's CYPB and Weller's Single Barrel. The secondary price on 107 and full proof is much more reasonable. I think they're much better bottles. Trying CYPB and Single Barrel at the Rack House, which, by the way, next time we get their allocations, we'll post that so you guys can go up to the Rack House and I'll give you a sample. A little 1 ounce pour on a Weller flight board. Did the Rack House, I'll let you guys know. But after trying those, I can strongly say that 400, 450 for CYPB for a bottle of it, not worth it. 450 to 500 for Single Barrel, absolutely not worth it. But then there's the opposite factor where it is worth it. An example of that would be like 13 Quality Double Oak Batch 2, where the MSRP is around $225, and secondary on that's about $750. And 13 Colony 15th anniversary, $200 bottle, about $450 on secondary. Those bottles, if you're paying those premium prices, if you're paying triple MSRP or more than likely someone's buying those bottles to drink it. They're not buying them as an investment. They're not buying them to flip them. There's no margin if they paid a premium for that bottle to make any money on it. So that kind of rules the secondary market on the secondary. So if I buy a bottle on secondary, more than likely I'm not going to be flipping that bottle. I might trade it for something of equal or value, but at the end of the day, it would have been better just to have cash. So the idea that some of these bottles trade for these astronomical prices and people pay them, it's because it's a sought after bottle to drink. So that's where your enthusiasts come out that like to be a consumer. The day drinkers and the night drinkers and the special pour guys and the weekend pour guys and the anniversaries, weddings, whatever it might be. Those are the guys that might spend a little bit extra for a special occasion, and then you got some that just, they like nice bourbon. So, other than secondary prices when it comes to that, some bottles, the distribution is terrible. And a good example of this that we were able to get from the store at a reasonable price, and I say reasonable, it's pretty much MSRP, for $135 out the door. We got an Old Fitz 8 the other day from Total Wine. There was 18 bottles at Old Fitz, and there was 33 people in line from where I was at. So there's 32 people ahead of me. Out of the 32 people ahead of me, they could have absolutely taken all the Old Fitz, but they didn't. Why didn't they? Well, they took the E.H. Taylor barrel proof because they had a better margin on secondary. A lot of those guys were there to make money. They weren't there for the bourbon, they were there to make money. Some of the guys, they got the 4 Roses Elite. Some of them posted them on secondary, I saw them. But 2 of those bottles out of the 7, they got opened up same day and they got tried and drank. Kind of like Old Fitz. Some people posted Old Fitz up for sale. Because it was all a margin game. It was all about money for most of these guys. Montana Chai, 3 E.H. Taylor small batch and 3 Blantons. SB for $500 would you do it? Just regular Blantons single barrels. Well, regular single barrel Blantons are 100, 120 a piece. We'll say $100 even is $300 right there. E.H. Taylor small batches are $75. That's $225. 225 plus 300 is $525. So if I'm selling them for $500, probably. If I was buying, maybe not. You gotta remember, E.H. Taylor small batches are like $50. Blantons, if you can get them, are like $86. It is one of the more reasonable purchases. So if you're buying these from a store, not in person, $500, that's not that bad of a deal. You're paying just below secondary, which I'm okay with that. Jesus, the Bloody 81, good morning, buddy. Couple $100 per bottle if it had money. I do that in Montana. Yeah, it's just tough because Blanton's is Blanton's, E.H. Taylor small batches, E.H. Taylor small batches. There's nothing spectacular about either one of those bottles. Both are allocated, both are cool. Blanton's is one of the first bottles I got that was my like unicorn bottle that I was super excited about getting, so there's some nostalgia there as well. Morning live stream before work, sort of. It's going to be maybe a 2-parter. We'll see how much time we have. We're going to Total Wine Euless because we're making a trade. We're talking about how there's certain bottles that you just can't get, whether they're discontinued, limited, they're that rare, the distribution in the area sucks, and the prices at some of the stores that you do find are just ridiculous. Sometimes you got to go to the secondary market to get some. So we're going to be getting Rebecca Creek 16 year, 131.5 proof. That's the bottle we are going to be getting. That's sealed, but he had 2 other open ones he offered us as well. So we're going to get another 131.5 open bottle. That's about half full. And then we got a lower proof one around that 125 proof range. It's about 3/4 full. So we're putting a premium out for these bottles, but they're discontinued. They don't make them anymore, and I'm ready to share them with you guys. So get ready for Monday Night Live. It'll be probably a little bit later because I'm going out for my anniversary with my wife and my parents' anniversary at Capitol Grill, but we'll probably go live that night, do a giveaway, do some Rebecca Creek 16-year samples. We'll probably only let you get one. You'll either get the 131.5 or get the 125 proof, just so we can stretch out those samples and the bottles as far as we can, so that way you guys have access to it. You can try it at least. They don't make them anymore. But 16 years is clearly not Texas whiskey. It's MGP from my understanding. Lockhart might be able to confirm some of that, so we'll see where we stand with that. I've been drinking E.H. Taylor small batch last 2 weeks. Last 2 nights, I'm sorry. It's smooth, 100 proof, good trade stock. Well, the problem with the E.H. Taylor small batch is that you used to be able to get them for under $50 out the door, and they trade for about $75. So you're talking $25 margin. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 1.5x on your investment. The thing is, that's not very good compared to what is out there for margins. So a lot of people might hoard those in Eagle Rares. I think they're great drinkers, and I think that's all they're good for. I don't think they're good for trades. I'm trading 3 small batches. I have 3 E.H. Taylor small batches with me right now. I'm trading 3 of those today, so clearly people still want them, but I don't think they're the best bottle to trade. It's just what the guy was willing to accept. I offered some other stuff he didn't seem too interested in. He seems to be a Buffalo Trace Tater fanboy, so I'm okay with that. And he wants a tequila, so I got tequila for him too. So can't wait to try the 16-year. I can't wait to get that out to you guys. I'm really excited to try it. We might even try a little bit when we get out of work today, since we'll have the cooler. We brought a cooler today, guys, so hopefully we don't have any cork poppage. I don't know if you guys watch those shorts where we got the corks popping. But got a cooler, got 2 ice packs, got some ice in there. I've got plastic bags to wrap the bottles in to keep them dry so the labels don't get ruined. They should stay cold long enough for a work day. It is kind of cloudy today. It is humid, but I don't think it's hot in the truck as long as the sun doesn't come out. I do love E.H. Taylor, especially the small batch. I think they're better than some of the single barrels just because they blend them. It's a batch versus a single barrel. And I think they make fantastic gifts. If you have anybody in your area that you can get one of those 2 that smoke cigars, if you pop the top of the tube, there's enough headspace in that tube between the neck of the bottle and the top of the bottle that you can drop a cigar in there. It makes a great gift, especially if you go buy a fresh cigar, put it in some plastic, drop it in there, and go give it to whoever you're going to give it to as a gift. I did that for my buddy's birthday. He loved it that he got an E.H. Taylor small batch, and I told him to open the tube, and he found a cigar. And I let him know, because I don't know if you guys are cigar enthusiasts at all. I'm not, but I did keep the receipt for the cigar, and I said, hey, let me know if you really like that cigar. And by the time you get done smoking it, you probably won't know what it is anymore. So I kept the receipt in case you do like it. I can look it up and we can go get it again. Because when you smoke a cigar, it's kind of unless you find the ribbon around it, you might not be able to figure out what you just smoked. E.H. Taylor and Eagle Rares will pick up all day. Yeah, it is, as long as Eagle Rares below $50, and I say if E.H. Taylor is below 60 out the door. And the problem is we're kind of at that threshold where like Eagle Rare out the door here is like $46, $47, and our E.H. Taylor small batch is like $56. So if they raise the prices much more, I don't know if it's going to be worth picking up. I don't smoke cigars. I don't smoke at all, actually, Jesus. I used to smoke cigarettes too. It's pretty bad. Cigars, we were only doing maybe, we'll still smoke a cigar every once in a while, but it's maybe once or twice a year, if that. We didn't even smoke a cigar for my kid's birth, so just to kind of put it in perspective, cigars weren't even touched. I didn't even touch a cigar for my wedding either. So some of the celebratory events that I could be smoking a cigar for, we don't even smoke for it. So Locktar, I saw that. They didn't shout me out, but I was in the shout out. I saw that he shouted you guys out there and it's saying, Locktar and Jeff. He's talking about like how to get entered into the 5K, and instead of like just telling people, he said, just check the comments of most of my videos and look at what Locktar and Jeff are posting, and you guys will know what to post too. He just referred to you guys and do the same, and you'll be entered in to win. That was great. Yeah, so secondary, trying to get back on topic, get a little off there, but I like to have these conversations with you guys. Man, that van just whipped over and almost wrecked his van doing that. That's crazy. Wow, okay. That Rebecca Creek 16 year, I was talking to Locktar about it, and it looks like the highest proof one that they made was 132 proof. So yeah, that 7 Deadly Sins video, that's the one that he called me out on, but we still got to do another video, so maybe Monday if we can get it done. I've got to do Bourbon Riders Challenge video as well, and I got to do the 7 Deadly Sins now. I got 2 that I've been called out for by different YouTubers, so gonna have to make some content. It's tough. We'll have to make time. We'll do it on Monday. Monday's the goal. Monday morning. We're gonna be drinking Monday morning. Now Rebecca Creek 16 year though, 131.5 proof. Sealed bottle, pretty crazy. I don't really anymore. The last one I saw was 105 proof, and it was like 225 or 250 before tax, 240 before taxes. I'm sorry, 240 before taxes. All right, Locktar saying per Danny, which is the head distiller, 132 proof is the highest. So that's good confirmation, because when you look at the secondary groups, what I saw was the highest proof, it said hazmat on there, but it didn't say a proof number. Hazmat's 140 and above, so to know that 131.5 is the highest proof, that's good to know. Secondary is beyond out of control. I feel like it may end up like the housing market. Well, 2 things are going to happen. One, the distilleries have been raising their prices, which that is happening, we do know that, but they're going to raise that price up to the secondary value and cut out the secondary sales. What's up, TJ? That's option 1. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they will raise the price to the secondary price for a lot of these distilleries so they can maximize their profits. But what I think is still going to happen is they're still going to have an issue with the limits of the bottles they have and the distribution of those bottles. And I think what's going to happen is even though the price has gone up on the bottles to a new MSRP from the distilleries, I'm willing to bet that on the same side of that, the secondary market will have to budge, and that's going to have to go up as well, unless these distilleries can ramp up production enough to meet the demand with their supply. Because right now the supply is lower than the demand for bourbon. That's why secondary prices are so high. But also, even if secondary prices weren't high just for that, it's also just the quantity. So even if you ramped it up to double or triple the amount of Eagle Rare they've ever made before, people still want them. People have backups of them. I know people who have cases and cases of Eagle Rare. At some point, as a consumer, you gotta realize, yeah, I want to drink this bottle on a regular, but don't carry more than 2 or 3 in your household to kind of keep it available for other people. That way it gets better dispersion, because there's some people that they don't drink their bottles very often or even open them at all. Iron Root Cigar Blend is incredible, by the way. I have not tried that one. Iron Root is a Texas whiskey though, and I do have one offering from them thanks to Tyler, so I'll have to get the cigar batch and try that out. They're gonna let us do a hazmat pick in Q4. Ooh! That sounds very interesting. Hazmat. I just hope that the secondary chills out. I think that it's at an all-time high, and we were just talking about last night in Discord, about 80% of the people waiting in line for a drop are flippers. Only about 20% are consumers. So I guess that's another question too, to label someone as a flipper. Do you guys think if I buy a bottle with the intent to trade it or sell it, but the funds that I get from that bottle are used on bourbon, does that make me a flipper? Because I feel like as long as the money stays within the industry, in this case bourbon, I don't really see too many problems with that, because you buy what's available to you when you have the option to buy, and then you use those bottles to get the bottle that you really want. I don't really see anything wrong with that. I do, however, have a problem with the guys who buy bottles strictly to make a profit, and they never put it back into the game, because that's just breaking one off on the consumer. Cooling off currently, people are being more patient, not paying crazy markups. That does help too. That's why in December you're camping out for a week, LOL. I feel like if you get enough bottles throughout the year, you don't have to do a big hunt, or the exact opposite. You save up money and you just buy it all at the big drop, and then you just try not to spend any more money the rest of the year, which I think that's pretty difficult to do, especially as a content creator. But as a consumer, waiting till the end of the year, dropping $2,000 or $3,000 in specs might be the way to go. Flipping is the problem with guys who don't even drink, just sell it like I want to be a crack dealer. You don't test your products. I try to get a read on most of these people, whether they're a drinker or whether they're just in it for collecting or what they're in it for. I know this year I helped a lady get a Blanton's bottle. I don't know if she follows the channel. She probably doesn't. But met her at a store, talked to her. She was trying to get a bottle of Blanton's for her son's birthday. Told her I'd help her out. Got her the bottle, and I gave her a stag sample to give to him as well. Because they don't have access to the allocated bottles, or they don't know that the trucks, they don't go hunting, they don't know enough of the, it's an ignorance thing. It's not anything more than that. They just don't know. And I don't want them overpaying, so I gave them the bottle that I paid for at my cost. She gave me a couple dollars more, and I brought her a stag sample. That stag sample, she was able to give to her son as well. They were able to try it, and she said they fell in love with that stag sample, so they were really appreciative of that, and they were really surprised by the generosity that, not that I helped them to get the bottle because they paid for it, but on the stag sample, I'm like, that's what it's about. It's about sharing, guys. It's not about trying to break one off and make every dollar, pinch every penny you can out of somebody. Open trench coat. Hey, want to buy some bourbon? I think I'm a hoarder. No, there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. I was in the store. We were all waiting for the same bottles. I don't know what this car's doing. There's a turn lane and we're in the shoulder over here. Are we drunk? I don't know what that was all about. I'm standing far enough back from this dude. I've never seen someone drive like that. There's a turn lane, and then there's a shoulder. This dude's just driving in the shoulder. Like, are we drunk? Crazy people, crazy people. Alright, guys. Long story short, we are meeting someone for a trade. I am going to be dropping off a live, as I do not want to disclose who the person is, nor do I want to showcase any of the things that go on, as I do condone the secondary market. Unfortunately, it is a necessary evil in order to get the bottles you want, so just letting you guys know right now, I don't actually support this, even though I'm partaking in it. But you got to do what you got to do if you want to get a bottle. Just be careful, guys. You are meeting typically a total stranger, and there's always a risk when dealing with stuff like this. So just be wary. Same thing with like Facebook Marketplace. If you're buying anything online and you're meeting someone where you're cutting out a middleman, there's no store involved. It's just third party to third party, like meetups at gas stations. I used to do that a lot with like sound audio equipment when I was younger. It's just one of those things you got to be careful. So just something to think about. Ryan, don't say that you're a fine collector of shit you can't just let go of. Traded a Weller single for JD12 and a C923 yesterday. Wow, I don't know if I would have done that trade, but that being said, the secondary value on the C923 has gone up to around 200, and JD12 is around like 250, so it's not terrible. Weller single barrel has come down to about 450, especially if you paid MSRP for that bottle. If you paid MSRP for Weller single barrel, I'd probably do that trade then. But if you didn't pay MSRP, might need to talk. Trade me your next one. I have someone looking for a single barrel. It's not for me. It'd be for Craig, Bourbon Santa. Ben, did you do that trade because those are ones that you want to enjoy and drink them? I don't even know where to look for the secondary market. So Ryan, what we're talking about, to find the secondary market, you're going to have to go to some stores. You're going to have to talk to some people, especially people who are going in there to buy bottles. My suggestion is to go in there when stores open. Normally the guys that are there for the bourbon at the very beginning of the day, those are the guys you want to talk to, because they're probably going to be secondary flippers, or they're going to be collectors looking for allocated bottles. Those guys, if they have any information, they probably will have information on secondary, and they can get you invited to these groups. A lot of the Facebook groups are private for protection of the entire group and the behavior that goes on within those groups. Stay strapped or get clapped. I hope no one's getting clapped over a bottle of bourbon, but I did hear about, actually it was on the internet, some people were waiting in line for some bourbon, and some guy started popping off in the parking lot. I'm like, oh damn. So we are getting serious over a bottle of liquor. Like, you guys have another thing coming for you if you're worried about a bottle of liquor that you're willing to use a gun to get it. Steven Shang, what's up, man? We're just sitting in the Total Wine parking lot. I'm getting ready to drop off the live stream because we're meeting up with a guy. We're going to be getting some Rebecca Creek 16 year. I will be giving out samples of that. We'll be sending those samples out through the Discord. So if you guys are in Discord or you want to join the Discord, you're more than welcome to. I will try to get a Discord link posted on this one when we get this done. It will go private. I will re-upload it with the description with the new Discord in there. So we'll do that. But we're going to get these Rebecca Creek 16 years. I got to get off this so I can message the guy, find out where he's at, and then we got to do our transaction. And then we'll probably go live again, because we do have Total Wine here. We will try to connect to the Wi-Fi, and we'll showcase this Total Wine again. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing the same stores. I am too. I want to find some more stores in the area. I will be looking some up. Unfortunately, the reason why we are coming here is just for the trade. So we're here to do a trade. Whisker Barrel, what's going on? Some of you guys, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a really long time. So once again, I'll post the Discord link in the description once this gets re-uploaded. I'm going to do this deal, and then once I'm done with this deal, we'll go live again for the store, so you guys will still get a hunt. I love Trailer Park Boys. That's hilarious, because I get told that I look like one of the guys from Trailer Park Boys with the little scruffy, shitty beard and the hair. So you guys know who I am. You guys can drop that in the comments. Baird Oil, RJ's at least a D cup. No, they're not that big. It's the shirt. I don't have a D cup. No D cups here. Maybe an A cup. Good try though. I've been slacking. Hey man, we all have things we got going on. People got their own channels too. People got everyone else to watch. What's going on, Victor? So glad you guys are all popping in, but we're going to be closing the live stream. Like I said, we're getting some Rebecca Creek 16 year. We're going to be getting 3 bottles of it. One of them sealed, and then one of them is open. Definitely moves, yeah. Well, when you drink a lot of bourbon, you put on weight, so quit being a flipper and a collector and start drinking, and then you can have moves like me. You're just jealous that mine are bigger than yours. But we'll catch you guys for the live right after. We will be doing Total Wine Euless and see if we can find something. Strap up, RJ. Which one? The boobies? We got to cover up this. No, we got plenty of shit. We won't say it in here, but on Discord we talk about some of the stuff that we have. But we got some crazy shit in the truck. RJ, aka Ricky. Hey, Tater Dom got it. Hey, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys for the hunt. Stay tuned. Probably be 20 minutes. We'll go live as the store opens, basically. So we'll see you then.